So third-party developers, big third-party developers want you to beg for games. Well, let me talk to you about that because I feel like nobody else is going to say this shit like I'm going to say this shit. And with that being said, I want to forewarn you that I'm not advocating violence, but it might sound like it, so chill. Now, I know a few people are going to be like, well, what about those people who work for these companies? They have a voice too. They get a paycheck from us, the people who play these things, the people who own these devices. Okay, now you might not have but one device. You might have a PlayStation. Okay, here it is. Or you might have an Xbox, or hell, you might have the Nintendo Switch. Me, myself, I have all three, so I'm not really too worried about that. But I don't agree with begging for games. I don't agree with that shit. Now let me talk to you on why. They work for us. Don't ever forget that. These companies work for us. Me and a lot of you guys, okay? Activision, Bungie, back when Konami was cool and I wasn't saying fuck Konami. A lot of these third-party developers, these big AAA game developers, work for us. Don't ever forget that. We don't work for them, they work for us. They get a paycheck due to the fact we buy their fucking product. You understand what I'm saying to you? They want us to beg for a Switch version of a lot of games. And to that I say, fuck you. Why? Well, look, I understand the underpowered part of the Switch. That I understand. I don't care. But here's the thing. If the game can be put on the Switch, there should be no fucking reason you don't put it on there. Money makes sense. Sense makes dollars. You make millions. Boop-de-boo, go on about your fucking business. Why are you making people beg? That's being petty. Being petty leads to being broke. Being broke leads to you being in the unemployed spot. How in the fuck are you not following the rabbit trails here? Now let me talk to you a little bit more. Let me put this into more perspective for you guys, because a lot of you guys are probably sitting there going, I don't get it. Well, here's how you put this into perspective. A lot of people own this controller here, not this specific one, but this is a PlayStation 4 controller. Over 60-something million fans own this right here, PlayStation 4. Okay, so you're sitting there playing on the PS4, right? You're just like, oh my god, this is so much fun. Da, da, da. I'm so happy I have this specific game. Or, like, I think 30-something million people own an Xbox One. They're sitting there playing the game, you know, oh man, I'm having so much fun. Okay, so why is it that developers are wanting people to beg for a Switch port of certain games? The Switch is selling great. The Switch is doing fine. The Switch is sailing. It's shot off like a bat out of hell, man. It hasn't slowed down. Why are people? Why are they wanting them to beg? You're telling me that I can't get games on my Switch when it's selling good? It's not doing horrible. It's actually doing just fine. That can't be the reason. Okay? This has gotten to the point to where both these controllers are almost 4 years old. What's your beef with the Switch? It's a newer system. What's your beef? Both these are almost 4 years old. Both of them. Xbox One and the PS4 are almost 4 years old. Both of them. And you're telling me I can't get a game on my brand new Switch that's not even a year yet. Okay. So, with that thought process, I want to point out something else. If you had the audience of the PS4 and the audience of the Xbox decide, hey, no matter where I stand on the Switch, whether I like it or I hate it, no matter what, but I'm going to stand up for what's right in gaming, which is I think you should not have to beg. If the game can be put on the Switch, then it should be. If you had both PlayStation and fucking Xbox players stand up and go, you know what, I'm not going to buy this game because that developer's a dick, that developer's an asshole, that developer's a fuckboy and should be unemployed. I'm just not going to buy his game no matter how good it looks. I'm not going to buy it because he wants Nintendo players to beg for this game on Nintendo. That is wrong. And every player on both systems decided to take their controllers and put them down towards that game and said no, and that developer made no money, that game would more than likely see its Nintendo Switch debut. And I know a lot of you are, like I said, going to be like, but what about the people who made that game who have nothing to do with this? They have everything to do with this. They have a voice. Do they not work for the company? Do they not have the ability to talk? Do they not have the ability to go to this person and voice their opinion on how this affects them? Do they not have the ability to walk out and go work at a different company? Yes, they do. So quit with the, well, they're going to be affected and they have family. They have nothing to do. They have everything to do. They have the ability to leave. Seriously. If you are being affected by stupid shit at your job, by a company who believes that making a small amount of money is what's best, and by making stupid moves that are going to end up putting you out of a job, you have every right to leave before it happens. That's what I did. I saw a company making stupid moves and I left. You know what happened to that company? They closed. I'm just telling you from personal experience. So don't sit there and give me that bullshit. I've seen it myself. I worked for a company that actually closed. I saw it coming and I left. So they have the option to do the same. Just because, oh, they're not the top dog CEO doesn't mean anything. Okay, these people can go and try to talk to this dumbass. And if he doesn't listen, they can leave, affecting him a lot faster. Okay? And if he hears a lot of their voices, believe me, it's going to make a difference. And if a lot of those players decide to boycott by not buying his game, he's going to have to listen. Do you not agree with that? I know it's hard to sit there and be like, well, I don't agree with, damn it, that's so true, because almost 70 million people not buying the game off of PlayStation alone are going to have him going, I'm making no fucking money. And then if 30 million people off of Xbox don't buy, that's 100 million fucking people not buying his game. That's a lot of money he's not making. And he's in debt for making this game alone. He's gonna have to listen. He's gonna have to say something. He's gonna have to come out and announce port begging is over because he's not making no money. And nobody did anything. They just sat there and didn't buy his game. You feel me? It's the best way to go about it. Whatever developer is wanting people to port beg, you stop playing that game. I don't care your stance on Nintendo. I don't care your stance on the Switch. You just don't buy their game. We all did it for one guy once. It's one guy. Yeah, it was Kojima, but we did it once. We all said fuck Konami. I still say fuck Konami. I downloaded the Phantom Pain because it was free through PlayStation Plus, and if my PlayStation Plus subscription runs out, guess what? I'm not buying the game. Pardon me, I'm not buying that game. I'll never purchase that game. I'll rebuy a subscription to PlayStation Plus to play it, but I'll never buy it. You feel me? I will never give PlayStation money to give to Konami to play this game. You feel me? I have Ground Zeroes. It was free as well. I never paid for that game. I paid for the PlayStation Plus subscription. PlayStation Plus gives you games for free. Konami's not getting a dime from me. They never will again. It's the same actions. The people who work for these developers have every bit as much responsibility as we do to stick it to that person. And like I said, using myself, they can very well walk out and say, fuck you. That's the stupidest shit I ever heard. That is a good reason we won't make any money. Let them decide. If they say they want it, and they obviously do, put it on the fucking thing. If everybody decided, hey, that's not right to do to one thing. If it can go on there, put it on there. Obviously, it can go on there. It's that simple. Regardless of your stance on the system. Port begging or begging for a game on a console is wrong in general. I don't care your stance on the system. I don't care if it was for a PlayStation 4 game or an Xbox One title. It's just overall, it's fucking wrong. You shouldn't have to beg for a game to go to a system. I would never sit here and support a developer who was like, I want you to beg for my game to come to PlayStation 4. It's just wrong. Because you should want your game to make as much money as possible. At the end of the day, that's what you're supposed to do, correct? Make as much money as possible. Making Nintendo gamers beg for your game just makes people not want to play your game. And it doesn't matter what system is on. You probably are turning a lot of people off to whatever it is you're making now and will make in the future. And if you're a smart person, you won't play whatever game it is. That's just my 2 cents on it. Deuces.